Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kita mulakan kelas kita pada pagi ini dengan membaca Ummul Kitab Al-Fatihah. A'udzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin, arrahmanirrahim, maliki yaumiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim, siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala sayyidina Muhammadin asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, ampunkanlah dosa-dosa kami, ampunkanlah dosa kedua ibu bapa kami dan kasihilah mereka sebagaimana mereka mengasihi kami di masa kecil. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, kurniakanlah kepada kami ilmu yang bermanfaat untuk diri kami, keluarga kami, agama kami, bangsa kami dan negara kami. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, berilah kepada kami kejayaan di dunia dan di akhirat. Ya Allah, ya Tuhan kami, jadikanlah kami orang-orang yang bersyukur. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina azabannar. Walhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Okey, alhamdulillah. Kita bersyukur kepada Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala pada hari ini kita dapat bersama sekali lagi dalam kelas kita untuk minggu yang ketiga, kelas yang kedua. Okey. So hari ini kita nak belajar tentang Consolidated Statement of Profit or Loss. Okey. Untuk fellow subsidiary. Jadi pada kelas yang lepas, kelas pada hari Selasa ya, kita dah belajar tentang Consolidated Statement of Financial Position. Jadi pada hari ini kita nak tengok Statement of Profit or Loss pula. Okay. So, saya akan sharekan Excel file. Sorry, bukan Excel ya. Excel kemudian. Kita share dulu Word file. Okay ya. So, saya rasa boleh nampak lah. Okay. Boleh nampak ya. Word ni.
Nampak.
Okay. So, okay. Actually, there is not much different between the requirement of consolidated profit or loss and other comprehensive income when we compare with consolidated statement of financial position in terms of the items, included and also the adjustments. Okay. However, as we understand, okay, the format of CSOPL and CSOP is of course different. The format memang different lah. Jadi format saja different, tetapi the content of the adjustment will be similar adjustment. Okay. So at this time we are given three companies. Three companies. So in the previous class when we learned about CSOFP, we are only given two companies for both questions. But here we have three companies. Okay. So let's go. Let's look at this question together. Okay, the question, this is question 1 out of 2 questions. Okay, so maybe we discuss question 1 only for today, and in the next class on Tuesday we are going to discuss the second question. Okay. Okay, the following are the draft statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income of Rose Berhad, Jasmine Berhad and Hibiscus Berhad for the year ended 31st December 2010. Okay, so when we look at the format is similar to the format that we have learned before, that you have learned before. Okay, so we start with revenue of the three companies. Okay, revenue of Rose, revenue of Jasmine, revenue of Hibiscus. Okay, 60 million, 36 million and 48 million respectively, and then followed by cost of sale of Rose 24 million, Jasmine 12 million and Hibiscus is 18 million. Okay, then followed by gross profit. Gross profit of 36 million for Rose, 24 million for Jasmine and 30 million for Hibiscus. Okay, and then we have expenses for the three companies, 12 million, 9.6 million and 12 million respectively. Okay, and after that we have the operating profit. Operating profit of 24 million, 14.4 million and 18 million respectively. Okay. Next, okay, we have other income that comprise of gain on sale of machine. This one is in the book of ROS, in the statement of profit or loss of ROS, and also dividend from subsidiary 5.52 million. Okay, dividend from subsidiary. So most probably this dividend coming from Jasmine and Hibiscus, because dividend from subsidiary. Okay, and then we get the profit before tax 30,720,000, 14,400,000, and 18 million respectively for Rose, Jasmine, and Hibiscus. And then taxation 6 million, 3.6 million, and 5.2 million respectively. So we come to profit after taxation of 24,720,000 of Rose, Jasmine 10.8 million, and Hibiscus is 12.8 million. So out of these three profit after tax, okay, the profit after tax of Jasmine and Hibiscus are very important, very important to remember, because we are going to use this profit to calculate the profit attributable to the non-controlling interest. Next, okay, we also supplied with retained profit on 1st January 2010 of Rose, Jasmine, and Hibiscus. Okay, we also given the figure for ordinary dividend paid of Rose, Jasmine, and Hibiscus, as well as preferred dividend paid by Hibiscus. Additional information. For additional information A is about the detail of share capital of the three companies. Okay, and ordinary share. For ordinary share, Rose is having 60 million ordinary share, Jasmine 24 million, and Hibiscus is 30 million. Okay, whereas the reserve here, share premium, 24 million for Rose, Jasmine 6 million, and Hibiscus is 12 million, and 10% cumulative preference shares, 12 million, belong to Hibiscus. All companies has not issued any new shares since 2007. So, this is telling us that starting from the date of acquisition until today is 31st December 2010, there is no change in the form of ordinary share and preference share. So number of shares on the date of acquisition and number of shares on 31st December is the same. Alright. B, on 1st January 2010, Rose Berhad acquired 60% of the issued ordinary shares of Jasmine Berhad, and the goodwill on consolidation was 2.4 million and was impaired by 480,000 as at 31st December 2010. Okay, the statement of profit or loss was prepared for the year ended 31st December 2010, and acquisition of the subsidiary Jasmine, okay, was done on 1st January 2010. So it means acquisition happened 1 year ago. Okay, 1 year ago. Next, Rose, Rose Berhad acquired 80% of issued ordinary shares of Hibiscus on 1st July 2010 for 12 million, and the bargain purchase arising from the acquisition was 600,000. Okay, so Rose acquired 80% ordinary shares of Hibiscus in the middle of the year. Betul-betul dekat tengah tahun, 1st July 2010. It means, okay, before 1st July 2010, Hibiscus is not a subsidiary of Rose. Yeah, it means, before the 1st July 2010, Hibiscus is not the subsidiary of Rose. So what happened to the operating activities of Hibiscus? The revenue, the expenses, the cost of sales, the taxation, all these items, okay, all these items only will be consolidated starting from 1st July 2010. And what happened to the balance that is before 1st July? Okay, the balance that is before 1st July will not be consolidated. It means the revenue of Hibiscus will be multiplied with 6/12. The cost of sale will be multiplied by 6/12. The expenses will be multiplied by 6/12, and the taxation also will be multiplied by 6/12, because the company Hibiscus is only becoming a subsidiary on 1st July 2010. Next. Ros Berhad sold a machine of carrying amount of 3.6 million for 4.8 million to Jasmine Berhad in year 2010. The remaining useful life is 5 years, and the group depreciates plant on a straight line basis. Okay, so this is a thing to be taught carefully. Okay, to be taught carefully. We can see from here that the carrying amount is 3.6 million and sold for 4.8 million. So there is a difference of 1.2 million. And according to Ros, 1.2 million is a profit ataupun a gain on disposal. And Ros already put this amount, 1.2 million, inside the statement of profit or loss. Okay, inside the profit or loss, dia ada gain on sale of machinery. Okay, jadi maknanya, okay, Ros already recognize the sale and already recognize also the gain from disposal of the machine. Okay, so for Ros, it is not a problem to recognize the gain on disposal of machine. Yeah, but for the group, okay, the group cannot recognize intercompany profit. The group cannot recognize intercompany profit. So for the purpose of group statement of profit or loss ataupun consolidated statement of profit or loss nanti, we have to eliminate this 1.2 million. Okay, that is the first implication. And the second implication, like what I have explained before, okay, whenever there is unrealized profit on disposal of a property, yeah, kat sini property itu adalah mesin, ya, okay, whenever there is an unrealized profit, it also affect the depreciation also, because depreciation already over provided. Okay, depreciation is recorded ataupun provided based on 4.8, sedangkan depreciation sepatutnya provided based on 3.6. Okay, but we only have to look at the difference here, that is 1.2 million. Okay, and the amount of depreciation over provided every year is 1.2 million divided by 5 years, because the remaining useful life is 5 years. Okay, we go further. E, during the year, Jasmine Berhad sold inventories at invoice value of 2.4 million. Okay, at this time, Jasmine pula, okay, make a profit from disposal of inventories to Ros. To Ros. Okay, making a profit of 600,000. Ros has not sold any of these goods yet. So it means, okay, the profit of 600,000 is still unrealized and need to be adjusted to the statement of profit or loss, okay, under the cost of sale. So in the cost of sale comprise of opening inventory plus purchases minus closing inventory. So the closing inventory of Ros has been overstated by 600,000. So we have to deduct this 600,000 from closing inventory of Ros. So what we are doing, we are going to add back this 600,000 to the cost of sale. Next, Hibiscus paid all the dividends in December 2010. Okay, this is to tell us Hibiscus is a new subsidiary that Ros acquired on 1st July. So the question need to mention this. If the dividend was paid before 1st July, if the dividend was paid before 1st July, Ros is not entitled for that dividend. Okay, Ros is not entitled for that dividend. But since the dividend was paid in December 2010, Ros is entitled. Even though Ros is entitled, okay, for the purpose of consolidation, for the purpose of consolidated statement of profit or loss, the amount of dividend paid by Hibiscus, paid by Hibiscus to Rose will have to be eliminated. Will have to be eliminated. So maknanya, kat sini kita nampak tadi dekat statement of profit or loss, kita ada dividend received from subsidiary 5.52 million. In fact, this dividend is not only coming from Hibiscus. Actually, it is also coming from the other subsidiary, that is Jasmine. So whatever dividend from subsidiary will have to be eliminated for consolidation purpose. For individual statement of profit or loss, no problem. This is correct for individual statement of profit or loss. But for the group statement of profit or loss, we need to eliminate dividend from subsidiary. And the last additional information is telling us that the profit or loss are deemed to accrue evenly throughout the year. What does it mean? It means the profit obtained by each company, by Rose, by Jasmine, by Hibiscus for the year are accrued evenly. Accrued evenly is referring to a situation whereby the amount of sale, the amount of cost, the amount of expenses, the amount of taxation are equal every month. Equal every month. It means if we have one amount, we can divide them by 12 months. Itu yang kita panggil accrue evenly throughout the year. So, this is particularly actually referring to Hibiscus because Hibiscus was acquired on 1st July. So, we need to multiply the amount of revenue, the amount of cost, the amount of expenses, and the amount of taxation of Hibiscus. Multiply with 6/12. So what we are required to do, we are required to prepare the first one, consolidated statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income. And then the second one is consolidated statement of changes in equity for the year ended 31st December 2010, showing the group retained profit and non-controlling interest only. So before we start the preparation of the answer, what we need to know, we need to know who is the acquirer. Why we have to know? Because the acquirer is the one who will prepare the consolidated statement of profit or loss. Next, when is the date of acquisition? There are two different dates. For Jasmine, it is 1st January 2010. Therefore, asset and liabilities, equity, liability, expenses, revenue of Jasmine will be consolidated starting from 1st January 2010. However, for Hibiscus, acquisition happened on 1st July. Therefore, the revenue, the expenses, the cost, the taxation will be consolidated only starting from 1st July 2010. That's why date of acquisition. Sebenarnya DOA tu bukan DOI. DOA is very important. Very important to know the date of acquisition because date acquisition is determining when we start consolidating the financial statement. Seterusnya apa lagi yang kita nak tahu? We want to know the fair value of net asset of the two companies. So, the fair value of net asset of Jasmine comprised of ordinary share 24 million, share premium 6 million, retained earning 4.8 million on 1st January 2010. What about Hibiscus? Hibiscus, ordinary share on 1st July 2010, 36 million. Share premium 12 million. What about the retained profit? Retained profit is combination of retained profit brought down 6 million and retained profit for the year times 6/12, 6.4 million. So altogether it is 12.4 million. And then lastly, the calculation of non-controlling interest on the date of acquisition. So non-controlling interest on the date of acquisition is for Jasmine 34,800 times 40%, 13,920, and for Hibiscus it is 54,400 times 20% equal to 10,880. Okay, kelas. So these are the early information that we need to know before we prepare the consolidated statement of profit or loss. Okay, let's go to the statement of profit or loss. Okay, this is the statement of profit or loss. So what we need to know, what we need to do, okay, for statement of profit or loss, we are going to start with analysis. Yeah, we're going to start with analysis. So we analyze first the balance of financial statement. Okay, so if you still remember, on Tuesday I mentioned that when we prepare consolidated statement of financial position, we need to analyze the financial statement carried down. Okay, financial statement carried down. And for the statement of profit or loss, we need to analyze the opening balance also. Okay. However, for this example, okay, for this example, we don't have to analyze the balance brought down because the balance brought down is the same as date of acquisition. For Jasmine. For Jasmine, balance brought down is the same as date of acquisition. That is on 1st January 2010. Okay. Whereas for the other company, Hibiscus, acquisition happened on 1st July 2010. So we don't have to show the analysis of financial statement brought down because acquisition happened 1 year ago. If acquisition happened more than 1 year ago, then we need to show the analysis of financial statement brought down. Okay, so we start with this one. Analysis of financial statement carried down. Okay, so basically we have 3 columns. Column for group retained earning, group general reserve, and also non-controlling interest. Okay, yang ni bukan general reserve tadi share premium. Ada general reserve tadi, share premium kan? Okay. Jadi tak adalah ni, kita ada 2 kolom saja. Okay, yang ni kita delete. Okay, so we are going to start with non-controlling interest. Okay, so what is the value of non-controlling interest for Jasmine? And also what non-controlling interest for Hibiscus? Actually, we have calculated in Word file just now. Okay, so I would like to show to you again here how to calculate the non-controlling interest for the 2 companies. Okay, so kita tengok Jasmine dulu. Jasmine ordinary share capital 24,000. Then share premium 6,000 and retained profit is 4,800. Altogether 34,800 times 40% equal to 13,920. Okay, whereas for Hibiscus ordinary share capital is 30. Okay, 30,000. Itu. Okay, share premium is 12,000. Retained profit 6,000. And current year profit 6,400. Okay, so total is 54,400 times 20% is 10,880. Yeah. So this amount will be brought to analysis. Yeah, it will be brought to analysis as the first and second line. Okay. First and second line. What I mean by first and second line here is referring to NCI on the date of acquisition. For Jasmine is 13,920 and Hibiscus is 10,880. And don't forget we have another one that is investment in Hibiscus, whereby Hibiscus is having 12,000 preference share, but not a single preference share was acquired by Rose. So all the preference shares belong to the non-controlling interest. Okay, is that okay with all the rate figures? Are you okay with all the rate figures here? Okay. Next, we have 2 items here that need to be included in the column of retained earning. whereby we have bargain purchase for Hibiscus amounting to 600,000, and also impairment of goodwill for Jasmine 480,000. Yeah, okay. And actually we have two ways of showing this. We can show straightforward ataupun straightly to the group retained earning. We can also, another choice is we put under retained earning of Rose. Okay, so either one we can put in the retained earning of Rose, or we can put straight to group retained earning, this 600 and 480. Okay, and then we analyze the retained earning of Jasmine. Retained earning of Jasmine, okay, the retained earning carried down, okay, from the question is 10.8 plus 4.8. This is from the question, so it is equal to 15,600. And then on the date of acquisition, it is 4.8 ataupun 4,800. Okay, 4,800. We have to deduct the retained profit on the date of acquisition because we want to find what is the retained profit after the date of acquisition. Ataupun kita panggil post-acquisition retained profit. That's why we need to minus. Okay, and then Jasmine just now sold goods to Rose. Okay, sold good to Rose and making a profit of 600. Making a profit of 600. So that's why this profit will be deducted, because for the group, the profit is not recognized. For the company, yes, you can recognize. But for the group, you cannot recognize this profit from disposal of inventory. And then next one is dividend. Dividend by Jasmine, dividend by Jasmine, 6,000. So after we minus 4,800, 600 and 6,000, the balance of the retained profit carried down of Jasmine is only 4,200. And this 4,200 will be allocated to group and also non-controlling interest according to the percentage, that is 60-40. 60% here and 40% here. Next. Okay, retained earning of Hibiscus. Retained earning of Hibiscus, okay, we are going to take the profit after tax for the year only. Profit after tax for the year only because acquisition happened on 1st July. Acquisition happened on 1st July. So the profit for the year, 12.8 million times 6/12. Equal to 6,400. And then minus the preference dividend 1,200 and ordinary dividend 2,400. Okay. Okay. And then 2,800 will be allocated to group retained earning and also non-controlling interest based on the percentage. Okay. Percentage for the group is 80% and percentage of the NCI is 20%. So 80% is 2,240, 20% is 560. Next, we go to retained earning of Rose. From the question, retained earning of Rose comprised of two items, that is profit brought down and profit after tax for the year. Okay, we can simply put as one figure or two figures here. Okay, so kalau one figure kita letaklah 8400 dengan 24720 ni sebagai 37 120. Macam tu. Okay. And then minus dividend paid. 6,000. And then there is unrealized profit on machine. There is unrealized profit on machine 1,200. And there is an over-provided depreciation. So this over-provided depreciation is related to the machine just now. The machine increase the value. Increase in value by 1,200. Okay. So the depreciation is also increased. Okay. Jadi depreciation menjadi over-provided. Bila depreciation over-provided, kita kena campur balik depreciation tadi dalam retained earning of Rose. Okay. So the total amount is 26,160. Now we can calculate the total of group retained earning. That is equal to 31,040, and the non-controlling interest is 39,040. Okay, do you have any question about the analysis? No?
Ada, sir.
No? Then we go to statement of profit or loss. We analyze the statement of profit or loss here. We start with revenue. Revenue of the group comprised of revenue of Rose 60, revenue of Jasmine 36, and revenue of Hibiscus 48 times 6 over 12. Why times 6 over 12? I mentioned earlier just now, acquisition happened on 1st July, and we need to consolidate the revenue, the cost of sale, the expenses, and the taxation of this particular company, Hibiscus, only for 6 months starting from 1st July 2010. Untuk yang January sampai Jun tu kita tak boleh nak consolidate. That's why we have to time 6 over 12. Okay. And then we have to minus here 2.4. We minus 2.4 is intercompany sale. Intercompany sale made by Jasmine to Rose. So Jasmine has made a sale to Rose amounting to 2.4 million. This 2.4 million for the group is not recognized. Sale within group is not recognized. Why it is not recognized? Because the total sale for the group is not increased. Dia tak keluar daripada group. Maknanya kalau dia jual, dia buat sale kepada other parties outside the group, then the sale will increase. But when you sell your goods to other member of the group, the sale of the group is not increased. The sale of the group is not increased. Boleh faham tak yang itu?
Boleh.
Boleh ya? Everybody. Ada tak yang tak faham? Okay, kalau semua faham, saya teruskan lagi. Cost of sale, cost of sale. So cost of sale also the same. Cost of sale of the parent plus cost of sale of the subsidiaries. So parent, Rose 24, Jasmine 12, and Hibiscus 18 times 6 over 12. At the same time, we have to minus the cost of sale 2.4. What is the cost of sale 2.4 here? This is actually intercompany purchase. So if intercompany sale we minus, intercompany purchase also we minus. Okay, 2.4 million. So in addition to that, there is an unrealized profit from disposal of inventory made by Jasmine to Rose. Okay, Jasmine jual kepada Rose dengan mengambil keuntungan sebanyak 0.6 million ataupun 600,000. So this 600,000 ataupun 600 ni, saya sebutlah 600 ni, the value 600 need to be added back to the cost of sale. So added back the cost of sale here is actually we deduct from our closing inventory. Closing inventory. I'm sure everybody still remember the component of cost of sale that is comprised of opening inventory plus purchases minus closing inventory. So when the closing inventory is overstated, the cost is understated. When we eliminate the unrealized profit from the closing inventory, then the cost of sale go back to its original. Go back to its original. Maknanya dia tak understated lah the cost of sale tu. Okay. Kemudian kita dapat gross profit. Lepas tu kita pergi pada expenses. So expenses here also expenses of the parent, Rose plus Jasmine dan plus Hibiscus kali dengan 6/12. Then at the same time we minus 0.24 ataupun 240. 240 ni mana datangnya? This is over provided depreciation. Over provided depreciation. So over provided depreciation will inflate the value of expenses. That's why we have to minus, so that the value of expenses go back to the original. Okay. And then we have gain on sale of machine 1.2. 1.2 we eliminate because this is actually The same thing, we make a profit from other members of the group. We cannot do this in the group financial statement. In your own financial statement, you can recognize, but in the group financial statement, you cannot recognize. And then impairment of goodwill 480, and then bargain purchase 600, and then dividend from subsidiary we have to eliminate because okay, it is intercompany transaction. Taxation. Okay, taxation, Rose plus Jasmine plus Hibiscus time 6/12. So kita dapat 12.2 million ataupun 12,200. Dan profit after tax is 34,960. Okay. Our next task is to calculate the profit attributable to non-controlling interest. Yeah. Profit attributable to non-controlling interest here is referring to profit of Jasmine and profit of Hibiscus separately. Because of the percentage is different. Okay, untuk Jasmine 40%, untuk Hibiscus 20%. Jadi kita kena calculate sendiri-sendiri. Okay. So sebelum kita tampal di situ, kita calculate dulu. Okay, we calculate the profit attributable to non-controlling interest out of profit of Jasmine and profit of Hibiscus. Okay, so profit for Jasmine, I said just now we need to remember the profit after tax from the question of Jasmine is 10.8 ataupun 10,800. Kemudian ditolak dengan URP inventory. Okay, dapatlah bagi dia 10,200 time 40%. Time 40% equal to 4,080. So 4,080 is the amount of profit of Jasmine that is attributable to non-controlling interest. Whereas for Hibiscus, since Hibiscus was acquired on 1st July, so we are going to take 6-month profit of Hibiscus. Yeah, 6-month profit of Hibiscus out of 12,800. We take only 6,400, and then we have to minus the preferred dividend 1,200. The balance 5,200 times 20%. It is equal to 1,040. And don't forget that all the preference share are belong to non-controlling interest. So 1040 plus 1200 equal to 2240. So 4080 is profit attributable to NCI of Jasmine. 2240 is profit attributable to NCI of Hibiscus. Okay, when we add the two together, it is equal to 6,320. And this 6,320 is brought here. The total profit is 34,960. 6,320 is belong to non-controlling interest, and the balance left for the equity holders of the parent is 28,640. Okay, class. And lastly, we need to prepare the statement of changes in equity. Okay, statement of changes in equity here, we need to prepare 2 columns only actually. That is retained earning and also non-controlling interest. Yeah. Okay. However, since there are other figures also, other figures can also be put here. But the question only require us to show the retained earning column and non-controlling interest column. Okay. So for the retained earning column, okay, we start with balance brought down on 1st January 2010. Since acquisition of Jasmine happened on 1st January 2010 and Hibiscus on 1st July 2010, there is no profit brought down of Jasmine and of Hibiscus. The only profit brought down is coming from Rose. So profit brought down of Rose is 8,400. And then we have to add the profit for the year. Profit for the year that we have just calculated. Okay, that is the remaining profit of the group after we deduct the profit attributable to the non-controlling interest. So 28,640. And lastly, dividend paid by the parent 6,000. Okay, so the balance as at 31st December 2010 of the retained earning is 31,040. And this answer is the same as the analysis. Okay. Analysis pun jawapan dia 31,040 juga. Okay. And then for the non-controlling interest column, there is no balance brought down because acquisition happened on 1st January. If acquisition happened last year, in 2009, for example, so there will be balance brought down for non-controlling interest. And the non-controlling interest only happen, ataupun only being calculated in the middle of the year, ataupun during the year. That is on 1st January and 1st July. Okay, and the non-controlling interest of the two is 36,800. 36,800 ni adalah combination of these three. 30,920, 10,880, 12,000 ni jadi dia 36,800. Okay. And then profit for the year just now, we have calculated profit for the year attributable to non-controlling interest amounting to 6,320. And then dividend paid by Jasmine and also paid by siapa lagi satu? Hibiscus. Okay, dividend paid by Hibiscus and Jasmine amounting to 2880. Jadi 2880 ni datang daripada mana? 2400 ni kali dengan 20% campur dengan 6,000 times 40%. Okay, saya akan ubah sikit kat sini. Okay, kita campur dengan 6,000 kali 40%. Sama dengan 2400. Kita boleh delete. Okay. Jadi macam tu Untuk dapat 2880 ni kita dapat daripada the amount paid by Jasmine 2400 times 30% equal to 480. Sorry, ini bukan Jasmine, ini adalah Hibiscus 20%. 2400 times 20% Hibiscus